excited about the holiday months because a lot of times there's this big umbrella of doom of, oh my gosh, we're too busy, people don't want to buy anything, people are all focused on holiday events and excited about shopping. But with a lot of focus and some new checklists and accountability and some ways that we can avoid distraction, this really can be some very successful months for us, not only to hit our goals for November and December, but also to prepare for the amazing first quarter of 2014. So what to expect? We're going to make sure that each of us have our own goals and expectations. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. I don't know if it's a big surprise to you guys to hear that I am pretty ambitious. Haha, I know, I'm pretty headstrong, but I want to make sure that even through my ambition or your upline's ambition that you set your own personal goals and expectations. I would never want to throw a goal of mine onto anyone on this team because truly, why fight for that if it's not something that it's in your heart and it's not something that you realistically don't want to push for? That's totally fine. The great thing about this business is that you are the CEO of your company and your success is achieving your goals. And it's beautiful because you can control that. The second point is that we're going to talk about 10 steps to a strong foundation, a checklist that I made that I actually got from a previous wake-up call, and some holiday strategy ideas. Oh, this is so tiny. Can y'all see it? Yes? No? Maybe? Yes, you can see it. Okay, maybe it's just super small on my screen. The first thing is I mentioned, pick your pace. We all need to decide our goals, decide what's realistic in our hearts. Don't accept the goals others set for you, but set your own. So I want you guys to do a little exercise for me. If you can, imagine that today is New Year's Day. What would make you proud? Like if today is New Year's Day, which is in 7 weeks, crazy I know, what would make you so accomplished and fulfilled if you thought back on the past month and a half and thought, man, I cannot believe I pulled that off? How would it make you feel? Would you feel fulfilled and accomplished if you achieved blank? Why would you feel that way? Is it because you're going to be helping your family? How many people will you have blessed between now and then? And how would your life improve if you achieve that goal? It's amazing to think that this business is truly about helping people, and I know that's said so often, and I don't want to say it so much that it becomes cheesy or cliche, because that's honestly that's the beat of my heart, that I do want to focus on helping people and bringing value to people. We'll talk about that in a minute. But here are some examples of goals that you can set for yourself. You want to make X amount of dollars between now and then to help pay for blank, or to pay off blank. You might be in debt. You might want to make, $1,000. You might want to make $500. You might want to make $100 every month. Whatever your goal is, just write it down. Hit Success Club. What month? Both months? Okay, hit Success Club for November and December because it will blank. If you really don't understand the concept of how valuable Success Club is in your business, then why in the world would you fight for it? You won't. You're not going to hit Success Club if you don't think it's valuable in your life. You're not going to fight for that. You're not going to feel accomplished and fulfilled if you hit that goal, if it's not a personal mission for you and your business. A third example, help so many people lose so many pounds of weight. I think this is a great goal because it can really be tangible and measurable. Somebody can say, I want to help 3 people lose a total of 20 pounds. Man, that means you're going to be helping 3 people probably lose a pant size, and that might help them gain confidence, be less shy around cameras so they can take pictures and make memories with their family this holiday season. Like, really get emotional with this and think not just about the Success Club points or the dollars that will be beneficial for your family and your goals, but that through offering this kind of valuable tools with challenge packs or with Shakeology, that you can really improve somebody's life, just like it's improved yours. Or a huge one that I'm looking forward to focus on in later weeks is to expand our market, expand your network, which means add friends, add likes, add followers, expand your network by this many because blank. You need to understand how important it is for you to expand your network, because you need to constantly be in front of new people and new faces. Personal goal, you might want to work out 3 days a week, 4 days a week, but make sure you're being an example of living a healthy lifestyle. And I thought this one was fun. Do a certain amount of random acts of kindness a week. Send somebody a handwritten note. Leave change in the, well, I guess you can or can't do that. Is better. I was going to say leave change in the Coke machine, but I was like, we don't want people to drink Coke's boo. Put a water on their desk. I'm just kidding. But do random acts of kindness for people just for the heck of it, so you can bless somebody. That will help us stay focused on really making this about them. So my call to action, and this is not the end of the call by any means, but this is just a quick call to action that I wanted us to do before we move forward, because we need to set some goals for the next 7 weeks. So write this down, really think it through. You don't have to fill this out right now, but between now and maybe tomorrow morning, sit down, think about your goals, think about what you want to achieve between now and December 31st, because it's going to be here before we know it. That's in 7 weeks. Some of my personal goals, and I put the emotion behind this as well, my why, that it's much bigger than just hitting a goal or a rank. So I said, in order to be financially stable, I want to replace my savings from my bathroom renovation by December 31st. I'm getting real with you guys. Nick and I just cleared our savings out trying to renovate our bathroom because we're trying to sell the house. That's real life, y'all. 2, I want to feel on track, so I want to hit Success Club in November and December. It's no surprise that we can lay our head down at night confident that we're moving our business forward when we hit Success Club. So I just want to feel on track and hit those 2 things, no problem. 3rd, I want to spend more time with my family. So that means that I want to be disciplined without distraction during the holidays, because I want to be very disciplined in how I work this business, so I don't have to spend more hours than I need to building this, what I know ultimately is to provide freedom and more time with my family. And I don't want to take away time from my family trying to build this. I don't want to be counterintuitive. So some of those are my goals. I'm going to move forward just for the sake of time, but again, I challenge you to follow that call to action, and I would love for you to actually write down that and share 1, 2, or even all 3 of those in our group before you go to bed tonight, just so we can help you keep accountable or just celebrate with you as you reach that goal. So 10 steps to a strong foundation. I actually got this from the National Wake Up Call. That was a couple of weeks ago from Janelle Summers, and Janelle is actually the number 3 coach in the company. I have a link down here, and I know that it's very small, and I don't expect you guys to type it out, but I'm going to post that in our group, but I wanted to explain it before I did. She explained 10 things that she asked every single coach to consider and to commit to in order for their next step of action items to work. Alright, so let me explain. 10 things for a strong foundation. In order for any other effort in your business to work, you're going to have to think about these 10 things. You're going to have to build this as your foundation, as your platform. Work out, eat right. When I say grow, I don't mean like physically, but I mean like grow your mind. Grow, you can click on it. Yeah, Brittany, that's great. Grow your mind, do personal development. That's a huge thing, because we can fight discouragement or we can grow as a leader. Always remember that you should be growing yourself into the leader that you would want to follow. Think about everything that you would want your leader to do. Well, just become that person, because your downline wants that type of person in you. This is something that she said that blows my mind, and I'm thinking, golly, why haven't I thought about this before? Make a list. Okay. Make a list of all your contacts. I know you guys have been in this business for a while, and so you know the memory jogger thing where you're supposed to write down 100 names. That's great. You probably did that on day 1. But are you working from a list? I will be the first to say that I did. I worked from a list in the first couple of months. But am I now? I'm not. And I'm falling behind because of it. So one of the foundational things that I'm going to start applying is to make a list. And I'm going to track that list. I talked to Brittany Leggett today, and I asked her about the list that she's managing. And she said that it's really easy. All she does is she has a notebook. She writes down everyone. She she writes down everyone's names and crosses them off or writes the notes down beside them, but she has several pages worth of names and contacts that she's talking to. You might already be doing that, but if you're not constantly referring to that list, you're probably missing follow-ups and you're probably missing gaps. What I wrongfully assumed was my list was my Facebook messages. I'm learning very quickly that that's not efficient and that's not a good spend of my time, because I'll go to my Facebook and I'll look through all the previous messages and I'm like, oh, okay, well then I'll dictate what I'm supposed to do today based on the notifications that I'm getting. And I really don't feel like that's being proactive in our business. I feel like that's being reactive. And in order for all three of you on this call, which you guys are my leaders, like these three people, along with several others on our team, we have an amazing team. But you three guys, you are leaders. And we need to start being proactive and not reactive. And I'm speaking to the choir because I just admitted to you that this is not something that I practice daily. But we need to not let our notifications dictate what our to-do list is. We need to go to bed with an idea of what our to-do list is the next day, which includes knowing that we need to work off a list. Something that I thought was funny that Janelle said, she said, if you don't have a list, you have a problem. And I thought that makes so much sense. Being in a network marketing company, if we're not working from a list and tracking who we're talking to, or maybe like adding out, here's the contacts that I added each day, here are the friends that accepted my friend request. So you're adding to your network every single day, and you can see how your list is growing. Okay, and then from that list, go one by one, talk to somebody, get to know them, ask them about their fitness and nutrition goals. Just try to get a conversation going. And then once a certain conversation reverts to, hey, I see that you're doing this, tell me a little bit about your journey. Well, then that's the next step in the conversation. You can just talk to them about a challenge group, or you can talk to them about, hey, I see that you just lost your job. Have you ever considered doing something part-time on the side as you look? And there's definitely many valuable resources and tools that Beachbody offers that people need. And truthfully, I know it's difficult sometimes just to throw out and ask people these hard questions, but you did it, and if the person who invited you to Beachbody wasn't pushy, well then it's definitely possible. You can invite people and talk to them through your list without being, pushy. So, make a list, track your list. I'm working on this, write it down on paper, put it on a spreadsheet, put it on Google Docs. If you want me to hold you accountable, I have this fun idea of like putting a Google Docs thing together, and having you guys make your list, and I would love to even see your list, things like that. So, we'll talk one-on-one later if you guys have more questions about what it means to track your list, because I'm still kind of working through that. But sixth is to care for people. You got to care for people genuinely, and I think each of us truly do this, but that's just a reminder that we need to make sure we're focused on what brings them value and not necessarily looking and scanning your room or scanning the news feed and thinking, okay, well, they could be a challenge pack, or they could be a challenge pack, or they could be a Shakeology order. We need to think of people not as success killer points, but we need to think of them as, hey, I know that they would benefit from this, and I have something that would be valuable to them. So care for people. Be teachable. This is a fun one for me. I love learning, but sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes it's hard, because sometimes you have to do trial and error, and that takes time. But be teachable. So the things that we're talking about here, the things that you're learning in other groups, or if you're reading personal development, which is obviously number 3, be teachable. Apply what you learn. Research for yourself. Go back into your Coach online office. Go through the training academy again. Those videos are all available for you for free. You actually pay for them. You pay $15 a month for all of those resources. You got to take advantage of it, because in order to be a leader for your growing teams, and all of you are going to be Diamond, you're going to have to be knowledgeable and be teachable so your team can duplicate what you're doing. Number 8, attend or watch Coach Summit. Coach Summit is in Vegas in June. I hope that you guys are all there face to face, but if not, you can certainly watch a few of the sessions, but that is a huge, huge, huge opportunity to compact tons of fantastic experience into one fun girls' weekend. Woo! All right, 9, attend or watch a recording of Super Saturday. Super Saturday happens once a quarter, and the next one is actually January 11th. But go ahead and mark your calendar. Non-negotiable. Attend that in your local city. Worst case scenario, if you can't attend in person, we'll watch the recording. Because, I mean, really, that means there's no excuse. Sorry, like, I'm not trying to be harsh because I know life happens and I'm sensitive to that because as CEOs of your own business, you get the flexibility to handle this business how you want. But Super Study is another great way to get plugged in and be teachable. Also, listen to the national wake-up call or the replay. It is super short. It's always 30 minutes. Very easy to listen. Today, Michelle Myers blew my socks off when she was talking about sharing instead of selling, and it just got me back to what the main thing is and how we're supposed to really just share our experience and not be yucky and not be fearful of sales because that's just an excuse. So, you guys can take this and even teach it to your teams, and I'll post the recording, but these are 10 steps that I feel need to be done in order for this next step of slides to work. Are you ready? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so the next part is the magic 3. Alright, there is magic in the number 3 for some reason with Beachbody. So I have compiled daily, weekly, and monthly checklists, all in groups of 3. So you guys can take this list and work it out, see what it's like. I also have a form that is pretty fun. I actually used it today, but it's a Google Docs form and it's a checklist. And so I went through each of these things and checked it off today. So it was an easy way. It's kind of like the business activity tracker, but it's not a spreadsheet that you have to print out and fill out. If you like that, that's cool. Do that. But this is just another way to track your progress. But this to me is a huge milestone on taking your business seriously, to track your progress and not just letting, like I said, your notifications dictate what you're supposed to do that day. You're not being proactive that way, and really you're not going to be as productive as you need to be. So daily, add 3 friends or followers a day, non-negotiable. Or you can add 3 to 5. You do have a risk of getting blocked. I've done that before, but if you add 3 friends a day, that means 21 friends a week. That means almost 90 friends a month. Compound that by 12. That's a lot of new people every month and every year that you're adding to your network. That's a lot of new people who are seeing your stuff for the very first time. And unless you're adding those people, you might not be able to hit those successful goals. You might not be able to hit that income goal. You might not be able to help those people because they don't see you. Also, contact 3 people from your list. That's why it's important to have a list. So contact 3 people that you might not have already messaged, or just share some love or like something on their page, comment, just be present in their life. Send 3 messages each day. And what I mean by that is just continuing conversation. It's not necessarily starting it for the first time, but just continuing conversation until it gets to a point where you guys can talk about your health and fitness goals. Also, post 3 times a day. Facebook rules generally 1 out of every 3 can be Beachbody or fitness related. Instagram, if you're doing Instagram, it's usually 2 out of 3 because it's more like a focused account. Another thing of 3 is to like or comment on 3 posts in your challenge groups. That's pretty fun, so it's good accountability for you to stay active and present there. And also, read the last 3 posts in your coach groups or group. Just to stay up front, to stay educated, to see what's going on, to see what other comments people have. But that's a list of, 6 things do daily, and it's just a list of 3. Alright, so things that you can do 3 times a week is post or promote your next challenge group. Alright, just think about it. 3 times a week, no big deal. What's cool is that, it doesn't work yet, unfortunately, but hopefully soon, Facebook will have their scheduling technology working, but if you use Hootsuite, you can even schedule your challenge group invites on your personal page. And so if you're one of those people like me, who I kind of get frazzled when my posts aren't organized or when I really don't know how to be visual that day and focus while I'm also knowing that I'm marketing the right things or saying the right things with the right mixture, sometimes that overwhelms me, and I think that's so meticulous that I should be proactive enough to just schedule my challenge group invite post that's going to go out every couple of days. So do that 3 times a week. Another thing that you can do 3 times a week is work through your follow-up messages. A way that you can control managing your time so you're not dictated, so your life does not resolve around all those little notifications that you get on Facebook is just 3 times a week, focus on your follow-up messages. So that means to those who haven't responded. And this is where your list is going to be a lifesaver. You might not even know who hasn't responded, because they're so far down in your Facebook messages. And so go to your list, see who you've not written a note by, who people that you see you're not having continual conversation, and just say, hey, I didn't know if you saw my last message. How are you? You know, or would love to catch up, or go on their Facebook and see a picture that they just posted and say, oh my gosh, your son is so adorable, or oh my gosh, you look so awesome on Halloween. Something that shows that you care about them. That's very applicable. Another thing is you can ask 3 people a week about coaching. And what Janelle recommended is that she said, you know, by the time you're asking somebody about coaching, you should have already identified what need they have. You should have already had such a great conversation about them that you'll say, hey, have you ever thought doing something like what I do in order to help out with that income you just lost, or to help out with losing that extra 10 baby weight that we were just talking about? Like, figure out why they were interested in connecting with you regarding health and fitness, and then ask 3 people a week about the coaching opportunity based on that need. So that's weekly. Monthly, here's some other ideas. Post before and after story. Post your before and afters, or your story, your transformation, but something like that so people can get to know your story. And you might think that's pretty redundant to do 3 times a month, because you're going to be like, really? Like, I just posted it a month ago. Like, people know that I just lost 15 pounds, but not your new market. Those 3 people that you're adding a day, they haven't seen your story. So 3 times a month, post your before and after, or post your story. Post something about your transformation or how Beachbody has brought value to you. Third, evaluate your goals versus actuals. If you do not if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And so this is a really big deal for me. If you have a goal and then you really never know whether you're achieving it or not, you're never going to feel accomplished. Write it down. Write down your goals. Make it realistic. And then look at the actuals a couple of times a month. And so you can kind of alter your workload or what you need to focus on depending on where you're at. Also, connect with your sponsor or mentor at least 3 times a month. And I say that not because I love talking to coaches. I love talking to you guys and dreaming big. But that doesn't mean you have to, spend an hour a week with somebody. You can spend 20 hours a week, or you can do a Google Hangout every couple of weeks, or whatever it is. But I encourage you to contact your sponsor or mentor 3 times a month just to stay connected and talk about some struggles or successes or failures that you have. Again, remember that I have this checklist in a format, and so it's just a checklist that you can use. And how about this? The 3 of you on a call, I'll send it to you after this meeting, and I just want your feedback. I know I've already asked Brittany to do that with me. She did give it a thumbs up. There were some things that I tweaked because she had excellent feedback. But since you guys are leaders in this team, I would love your feedback before we share it with everyone. And if it's something that you feel like is helpful, because somebody can track their progress just by checking on something, and truthfully, if it's going to help you stay accountable, I want to meet you halfway. So if you're the kind of person who you know you will work better if you have to submit something every day, and if that freaks you out, don't worry about it. But if you want accountability, let's just talk about, hey, you know what, every single day you need to submit that form to me. It's the same link. Pull up the link, go through it each day, and submit it to me. And I know that if I get that submission in my Google Docs, I know that you've gone through that list that day that you needed to. So that's some accountability that you can even do with your team if you would like to create a similar form, or even use that. It doesn't matter. So here's some holiday survival strategies really quickly. If you're struggling to be productive, if it's hard to stay efficient, I know that we all get distracted more than ever now because of the holidays. Projects go on the back burner, napping, food coma, family, traveling, all these things are competing for our time. And truthfully, I want to enjoy the holidays, and I don't want to feel behind. And in order to survive the holidays, guys, we have to be focused, because if, at the beginning, there's a need in your life to make this happen, and whatever that goal that you were setting to achieve by December 31st, remember, that emotion of sitting there on New Year's Day and looking back and thinking, man, I cannot believe that just happened. I can't believe that this really did all pull together because of my hard work. all of these things that we're struggling with in order to be productive, if you stay focused, just do those daily things, go through your checklist. Here are some ideas that I thought would be helpful is set a timer. If you have something on your phone that has an alarm, do like, okay, for 25 minutes, I'm going to turn everything off except this one thing. I'm going to have focus on my messages for 25 minutes, and then when my alarm goes off, I'm going to take a 5-minute break, and I'm going to come back to the computer and focus on one other thing. Do that. Do not get distracted by browsing. Do not waste time on things that are not productive, because you want to spend as little time as possible away from your family or away from whatever. Also, sometimes listening to music without lyrics helps me. Following the checklist, accountability, I already mentioned that with submitting the form. And here's a big fun thing. Yay! I'm giving away a spa gift card. So I love spas. I actually love massages like crazy a lot. So I would love to give anyone on our team the opportunity to win this gift card just as a hurrah for the holidays. So for anyone who hits Success Club for November and December, as well as submits the form at least one time, they don't have to submit it every day or every week or every month. Just go through the form, click what you need to, sign it with your name, hit submit so I know that you understand the checklist that, just in my opinion, I think might work. They might not work for everybody, but I think they're working for me. But if you do this, then you'll get qualified for the $50 spa gift card. It's super easy. So just a little example of things that I feel would be helpful for surviving the holiday season. Just be laser focused and trust the process. Expanding your network is a really big deal. So that is it for now, guys. It is 9 o'clock, and I encourage everyone, if you can, stay on your computer and go to our Moxie crew page or go to Brittany's page and join Lindsay Matway's call if it's